Good. Okay, awesome. So welcome guys to our Tuesday team call. And it's really a special, special night because we get to celebrate our newest Live to Be Free Crystal executives on our team who just reached this amazing, prestigious rank on Sunday night. All of them working around the clock, right to that, like we call it the 11th hour, and they all hit it. And executive is the highest level of rank for our company, and that means they have created at least 5 consultants on their left team and 5 on their right team. So I just wanted them to briefly share a little something each different about what it, maybe something that they personally faced, what it meant to them, something that they had to do. And so let's start with Flo, because I just saw you first. So Flo, you know, what's awesome about you just had such, if you guys don't know Flo, she has had such an amazing personal growth journey with our company. And I would love for you to share, because I know you shared with me, just as you were getting closer to your goal, you know, what kind of things you were tested with and how you did get past that and what kind of like dedication and mindset that took. So please share away, and congrats.
Thank you. And before I share, I just wanted to thank you so much, Tina, for adopting me and really just being such a great mentor. You've taught me so much, and I'm so blessed to be part of the team. Crystal Executive, man, for me, it's just definitely been a longer journey, although I really want to stress the fact that you can't compare, you certainly never want to compare your journey with anyone else. You have your own journey, you have your own path. And that is something that I had to accept first, because I did a lot of the comparing game in the beginning, and it really, really held me back. Because I was looking at all those people who were hitting Crystal Executive in a few months from starting. But one of the things that I've learned is that we all have a different journey. Some of us have been in the industry before, so it doesn't matter. Just pave your own path. I've been working on this for quite a while. I did a whole lot of personal development. 2019, I worked harder on myself than I worked on my job. And, literally just did so much personal development, really learning to work on my energy. I was a type of person that was vibing very low, and I didn't even know it because I was always very positive. I've always been the type of person that looks at things and sort of flips it. I focused on on just being grateful and being okay with, what I had. But at the same time, I was still struggling with just being that energy and really believing that I deserved this. That was really just my biggest issue, is I just didn't believe that I deserved it. And I had really just rehearsed this kind of habit and belief that anytime I got to something good, something was going to happen and I was going to lose it. And so I had to work through those blocks. But literally, and I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. Life really happens for you, because I've been growing, steadily. When I started, I hit Crystal Executive very quickly, and then I lost my entire team, and it was really hard for me. It was humbling to be able to tell myself, no, it's okay. You can start again from scratch, rebuild. But then to continuously hit those blocks, and it was really just me. And when I finally realized I had to work on myself, then everything clicked. And this is something, Gina, that, I've really learned from you, is that work on yourself, work on your energy, work on your confidence, work on just this whole feeling of being, you are worthy, you are deserving. We all are. There's enough light for everybody to shine. I was so set. I had visualized, and that's another thing that you taught me, is just to visualize. I knew I was going to hit it, but the week before, I got hit with a ton of distractions. and the worst distractions ever, because it actually involved my daughter, and my daughter is my heart, and I would give up anything for her. And so when that happened, I was really troubled, and I remember just feeling like, what the heck, like, seriously, like, this is my week and this whole thing is happening. And I just remembered, like, flow, and I remember telling myself, like, you've got to step into faith. Life happens for you, not to you. um you're going to be tested in some of the worst moments, right? But you have to remember that when you step in faith, and when you understand that, you can overcome anything, you just get back into that focus, and you trust yourself, and you trust God. And I'm a believer, and I just really, really just remember just relaxing, and just really taking time for her, but at the same time also focusing on my goals. And at the end of the day, it worked out. I mean, it was literally like, I think, like, everybody was just like, oh my God. I remember you messaging me like, is it official? Because it was literally until, I don't think I hit it until like 9 p.m. That was my last enrollment.
You're the earliest one, though.
What?
I said 9 p.m. was early.
Well, yeah, for me it was, because I knew that morning I had put everything in place, and that was from, like, I had really just planned this, made sure that I did all my reach outs, my follow-ups, that I was putting things together in place. And I actually, that week, I had to spend time with my daughter. There was no way I was going to take that time away just because I wanted to hit Crystal Executive. But I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning, and I did my work then, because she was asleep. And as soon as she would wake up around like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I was ready for her. But I made sure that I figured it out. There's always a way. But yeah, I had put everything in place, and I knew that those two people were going to sign up, but they were working until 8:30 p.m. and I had to wait. But for me, it was like, okay, until it happens, like, it's not going to be official. But
I really appreciate you sharing, so vulnerably how you had to work on yourself, so much in 2019. And we're just so proud of you, and you've been so awesome to everybody. So
thank you.
Congrats, and I'm so glad that you were able to balance that out with your mom duties as well, and find a balance, like you said, find a way, figure it out. 4:30 in the morning, you did what you had to do, right? So that's awesome. And then next, after you, I think it might have been around 11 or 10:45. Brooke, you hit it, and I know your mom was with you, and you guys were texting me, and so I just want, if there's something that you could share that made you push for it, or if there's something just with your journey that maybe you could share that might be different from the others.
Of course. And can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're perfect.
Good? Okay. So my in-laws, actually, I'm on my way home. So sorry if the video is dark, because my husband surprised me with the dinner that my in-laws wanted to celebrate, because they were like so excited. So I really thought that I wasn't going to hit Crystal Executive, to be honest. And I kind of gave up a little bit. And I remember a week and a half before, when Gina, Natalie, Emily, Kara, Flo, everybody was like, come on, we all got this. And just the momentum of our team, and the positivity and the vibration that our team has, and how much on fire everybody is, lifted my spirits up so much that I was like, if they could do this, I could do this, and we're going to do this together, and I'm just going to go for it. And I just went for it. I put in my mind there was no plan B. Like, I was going to hit it or not. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. Once I made my decision, I was hitting it. And I think that really, really makes the difference, is that, when you teeter-totter on the idea of if you're going to hit it or not, that makes a difference, because you're like, okay, maybe I'm going to hit it, maybe I'm not. But when you really make the decision to say, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like Flo said, wake up at 4:30 in the morning. You're working. I was working some nights till midnight. My husband's like, okay, you're going to come to bed now? I was still working and talking to people, and there was no plan B. And I think once I made the decision that there was no plan B, I was going to hit it. And, you know, molding, like Flo said as well, molding into the person that I needed to be, that, you know, has come with progression of being with this business. That when I made the decision I wanted to do Isagenix as a business, which was probably a year and a half ago, I don't think I would have been able to handle this leadership role. I had to mold into this person in order to be an executive, to lead people and help people and change so many lives, that a year ago I wasn't ready for this. Even though I wanted to hit executive a year ago, I didn't have the self-development, and I wasn't as far along to be a leader as I am now. So even though I wanted it, now I look back and I'm like, okay, this is why I didn't hit it yet.
Yeah.
And I made some notes, so I'm gonna read some of this. Like, trusting the process is basically what I just said. To realize you're in your own lane, trust the process, and everybody is on their own journey. Even if you take 5 years to hit whatever goal you have, understand that that's your journey and that's what God has for your life. And then that leads me into the next spot, which is your faith. And I believe in God, and I'm a firm believer, and Jesus is like my everything. So once I really just gave up control, because I try and control a lot of things, tonight threw me off guard. I'm like, wait, I have a team call at 8:30. What do you mean we're going to dinner to celebrate? I try and plan and control my entire life. So once I give up control and I leave it to God or whatever you believe in, the universe, things just fall into place. You're like, oh my goodness, it's really bigger than yourself, you know, like you don't need to try and control every little thing. God has your back. And once I really gave up control and realized that God was my number one, you know, cheerleader, and he had my back, everything fell into place. I had people coming out of the woodworks, DMing me, wanting to do the business, people messaging on a post that I made in April saying, oh, I'm interested in Isagenix, and it just all fell into place once I gave up control. Because when you're trying to control everything and muscle through it, you're creating resistance. And when you create that resistance, you're putting up blockages, and you're not going to get to the level that you want to be. When you just go with the flow and you trust the process and trust that God has your back, the universe has your back, it all falls into place. And I think that's my biggest takeaways.
Yeah.
And I know that if I could do it, everybody on this call could do it. Like, I am so fired up for this team. Like, the second half of 2020, what's that meme I saw? Like, 2020 is like a mullet. It's business in the front, and then the rest of it's going to be like party, let's go in the back. Like, let's run with this.
Love that analogy. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so good. Love it. And congrats again. So awesome.
Thank you.
So then next, it was probably around, I think, 11:15. Natalie and I were texting throughout the final. It was like the 10th person needed that one more. And so I have to say, like, honestly, what I've seen in Natalie is so beautiful. And I told her this, that anybody, like, if I could put my money on somebody who was hitting Crystal Executive, it was Natalie. She's been so consistent from the Crystal Director time on, never misses a noon call. Several times on the Work It call, she was like the only one that logged in. She just has been so consistent and so focused on what she wanted and like why she wanted it, that I just saw that consistency. And I really kind of knew already before it even happened that Natalie, I had no doubt she was going to go ahead and hit it. So Natalie, I would love for you to just maybe share like what it took, like what kind of extra action, what kind of, I know that you've reached out to a lot of people, and just maybe share some of the, you know, there's people that ignored you and said no and all of that you had to go through. And if you could just kind of share, like, what did that consistency look like in your reach outs and things?
Yes. First of all, I want to say thank you, Gina, for all your support through all this and your belief in me. I mean, I believed in myself for the most part. There was some time, like Brooke said, I was like, oh man, I don't know. this might not happen. But every time you came back and you sent me something, you're like, you're going to have it, you're going to get it. And a couple other people had said the same thing. So that just kept reassuring me, and the other girls that were running were so supportive also. So for me, yeah, like I would not miss a workout call. I did not miss a team call, an opportunity call, a Q&A call if I can. I'm on one phone trying to watch KK. I'm trying to log into another phone and watch somebody else's and try to like be engaged in both of them. So I've given it my all since probably before director. And when I decided to run for director, I just put my blinders on and put my head down and went for it. And the same thing for this, like I was watching some of my consultants, one fell off to associate and then another one was falling off. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? So got them back up, or for the most part, and then just worked on those last 4. But there were days where I messaged, no joke, like 80 to 100 people. I counted. And there were some days when it was just 20 people, but it was all like very, organic, like, hey, happy birthday, how are you, what's going on, or following up with people in my DMs, and because I keep them in there. And so I would just follow back up with them, how are you doing? And I network with a lot of other network marketers. So I just check on them, how is you doing? I support them. But the day when it came down to it and I was like, I need some more, I like text all of my family, I think, not asking for business, say, hey, does anybody know anybody that needs, anything, that's interested, that, might need a solution? And I heard from one cousin. So that went nowhere. And so I went into my, all the way back to my notes from however long I was messaging people. And I went all through my warm market, all through my cold market, all through my hot market. And I messaged every single person and just said, I'm trying to hit a goal. If anybody has any referrals, I would love your referral. So I got a lot of no's, or like, no, thank you. Like, good luck. And I got a lot of ignores. And then today I got some, oh, I just saw your message. So, they didn't want to say no, but they wanted to tell me today that they just saw my message. But all of them were very supportive. So it took a lot of no's to get to those few yeses, definitely. And the grit and determination. And like Brooke said,
I know, I think Emily did this too, was to ask people, would you be willing to post for me, right? Didn't you have to like post on your behalf so their network saw?
She gave me, she said, I'm just going to ask. And I was like, well, that's actually a great idea. So I thought the same thing. I was like, well, would you? And some of them were like, you know what, it's against our policy for our company, we can't. And I said, well, thank you so much, I appreciate it, if you have anybody to send it my way. But some people were more than willing to post for you, and you gave them what she said, like pictures and then like a little bit of verbiage, and they were happy to do it. Or post, if they've tried your products, they were happy to post their, like a couple of them had tried Via, so they posted it, and I got a couple of people from that. But it definitely, there was a point in time when I wasn't sure. And then I saw Emily's like cranking up there, consultant. I was like, okay, there's no way I cannot hit this. Like I have to hit it for her, for me, for the team. Like otherwise, like,
yeah, so. Love it. Well done.
I'm definitely grateful, like the other girl said, for, Debbie and our personal development time, because there's no way I could have done this without her, or Gina, or the rest of the team, all the girls that are, under me, for Nicole, for being there. Nicole Carter, I can't see your face. But for all of you just being so supportive, and this team is just amazing. Like truly, I think my responses were like a mile long, but it was because I feel that much, and that like I know now that this is what I'm supposed to do. Whereas before I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll just try it. But now I know. So
awesome. I love that. Congrats again. So
thank you. Thank you.
You're so professional and consistent and determined. I love it. So yes, great job. And then, then this one over here, Emily just kind of throws us all for a curveball. So when I did the poll, who's running for Crystal Executive, she filled out, not at this time, so I wasn't going to pressure or anything. And all of a sudden, we were working out, and she's like, I don't know, maybe I didn't hit Crystal Director, so who am I to think I can get executive? And there's not much time, and I only have one consultant, and I was just like, well, what's the worst that can happen? You go for it, you work hard, and you're going to be a step ahead from your business, right? And then Thursday morning, literally 4 days before the deadline, she just made a decision. She made a decision, not that she wanted it, that she had to do it for herself. And she got into such action and such work, and in 4 days developed 9 consultants in 4 days. And I think for Emily, it was a lot of proving her potential to herself of what she can do if she just went all in and had no fear. and reached out to everybody. So Emily, if you can share, I know some of the things the girls said are probably similar in that mindset, but you were like, what was it that kind of made you decide 4 days before a deadline? And funny enough, her husband was helping Rod and I with something in our house, and he said, I asked Emily, how long ago did you know about this crystal reset? And she told me January. And I said, then how come you waited till 4 days before? So we were laughing. We're like, it's like in those school projects when you do your report the night before. But Emily, if you can just share, like, why all of a sudden, what was it that clicked for you that you wanted to say, I'm going for it? And then what has that meant for you?
Okay. So yeah, I adore this team. That's first and foremost, because I have been working with Debbie, and I am the first person to say personal development has been what drew me to our team, but this company. For instance, we have an entire event based off of personal development, UIA. If you're brand new to the company or you've been with the company and you haven't gone to UIA because you in some way can't afford to go to events, the only event I would tell you to get your butt to is UIA, because you have to break down so many barriers. And that was the first step to me saying, Emily, I am so tired of you being so complacent in your own fears and your own lack of self-worth. And so I really just started on this journey of finding who I was, but stepping into my greatness. And I don't say that in a cocky way. I say that actually because once quarantine happened, one of the Isagenix millionaires, Abby O'Neill, I don't know if everybody knows her, she started to do the quarantine breakfast club. And so every morning you would log on to Zoom and she would have all these motivational videos, and it really got me pumped. I would text Natalie and Nicole and I'd be like, oh my God, you should get on these calls. They're so amazing. Abby just really gets you started. And I was doing all these things to work on myself and to really step into my greatness, because I kept hearing everybody say, envision your highest self and then be that person. But it's not easy to just flip a switch and say, cool, I'm the bee's knees and I'm going to do this. You have to really work for it. And then my next thing I did was really working with Debbie. And when we were doing the whole reset, I didn't do everything I could have done to hit Crystal Director. And to be honest, I very much so gave up, as I always do, because it's something really hard, right? And Gina always tells us, she beats it into our brains in the nicest way. It's a cute little mom pat on the butt, but she beats it into our brains. If you can create one consultant, you can create 10, and you can create 20, and you can create 30, and you can create 40, and you can duplicate. So literally all I did, because I'm a busy mom to 4 boys and a new puppy, and I have no damn time for anything, I had to put my head down. And Wednesday, when I was I really wish I could hit this, I was really down on myself about not hitting Crystal Director. And I fell into that same pattern of, oh, I want to do this, but I can't because I'm me and I am not awesome. So I'm talking to Gina, I'm at Rod's boot camp and we're working out and it's really great. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just fly off the seat of our pants. Let's just try. I'm just going to try. Because the worst case was I was going to create enough consultants to get me back to manager level, because I was a manager and then I was still paid as consultant. So I was like, worst case, I'll get back to manager. Then all of a sudden I hit manager and I was like, okay, let me see if tomorrow I can hit director level. And then once I had my 6 people and I knew I only needed 4, I just started to see the stars were aligning. And I'm like, you know what? Balls out, just do it. Just do it. And I literally sent the same thing, not mass message. I made it very personal in the beginning. It was people that I spoke to multiple times. It was friends that I knew. But if it was my cold market, and 6 people that are consultants for me now, I don't even know them. Like, I just met them. And I tell you the truth, you guys, if there's one thing I can tell you, your cold market's going to be your best friend. You know why? Because you're not attached to what they say afterwards. I was more emotionally distressed, literally called Gina Sunday morning because I was so upset about somebody that I knew and had helped out in her business and asked for her to help me. And she gave me the nastiest reply. And so something that I really continue to enjoy doing is really work my cold market. So really, it's easier if you're somebody that gets your feelings hurt a little bit. Working with your cold market's going to be something you want to do because you're not attached to what they're saying on the other end. And if that gets you used to hearing no, then so be it. Do it. But I said the same thing to everybody. And once I got them to enroll, this was very key, okay? I learned my lesson with one person. I was like, hey, we're scratching that and doing something different. I, before enrolling somebody, had asked them, who do you know? Like, do you know 2 people that would do this with you? And then they were like, no, and then backed out because I didn't enroll them first. So I enrolled, and then I said, so do you think you know 2 people that would do this with you? And then I would send the message, and then I would voice clip them, and I would say, I know, totally realize you don't even know me and we just met, but I really feel like we clicked and we hit it off and you're so excited to do this. And I'm really big on accountability. Do you know 2 people that would do this with you? Because I'm trying to hit this humongous goal in my business. And it would mean so much to me. Not, I'm so grateful, it would mean so much to me if you personally could help me, because what do people want? They want to know what's in it for them, right? They want to know that they're doing something really great. So people would say, well, I think I can find a couple people, but I don't really know. So I would talk them through it and they were like, cool, I'll come back. Everybody had brought 2 people. I think maybe 3 people were like, I can't do it. Like, I don't have anybody. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. If they said no to me for the 11-day reset, I was only asking people to do the 11-day reset. I didn't ask them for 30-day systems. I didn't ask them for anything. I said, we're doing this 11-day reset. It's starting on Monday. Do you want to join? That was how it started. And then the people that said no, I said, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for talking with me and hearing me out. And I hope that one day when you're ready to try this, you think of me, because I really love to be everybody's inspiration when it comes to health and wellness. Would you mind making a post for me though? Because I'm really working towards this big goal that I'm due to hit by Sunday at midnight. And I was always very transparent through it all. And I told them the same thing. And then people were like, yeah, sure, no problem. Do you have anything written out that I can just post? Because I don't really know how to ask about this. I said, absolutely. It was a tiny little blurb. Hey, my friend Emily is starting up this really crazy group about they're going to do this 11-day reset. And I made sure that they didn't put shred. I know the graphic says shred, but I would say that it's a metabolic reset. And that's what I was putting in the text. The other thing I did is some people that wanted to do it, but they couldn't afford it. They wanted to know that they were getting that consultant bonus back. They wanted to have 2 people before they signed up. I reworded it and I made it say, I'm committing to an 11-day shred with Emily, and I'm really looking for accountability partners. Who wants to do it with me? And people were like, I do. And that's how I got that going. So it really was just a lot of patience on my husband's part and my children, because I had to say, I have 4 days to try and do everything possible that I could. And I did. And I probably ignored a lot of text messages and a lot of phone calls and a lot of distractions. And my kids were pretty cooperative for the most part, but it was hard. It's hard. It's not like I didn't just one day decide to all of a sudden be amazing at what I did. It was hard, and I cried. A lot of times I cried. It was hard, and I just had to keep telling myself, I already have 1. Now I have 2. I have 3. I have 4. Just keep going. just see what happens. And sure enough, it was like down to the wire, and I'm texting Natalie, and I was just like, I literally cannot believe that we are sitting here right now and we're like one enrollment away from both hitting Crystal Executive. It was so surreal. And even Gina, like knowing that I had everybody really saying like, oh my God, Emily, like you're really going to do this. And my husband thinking I'm a complete freak of nature, like it was totally fine. But I really had something to prove to myself. And I was so tired of like watching everybody else in start and, you know, loving all these people hit all these great milestones. And I'm like, okay, Emily, and you're just sitting here like a loser because you like you just were. And that's just how I felt. Not that you guys are, but I'm just saying like it was me and my own personal development that was why I wanted to do this. It's the bonus is amazing. The recognition is amazing. I strictly did this because I was so ready to just be a badass. And that's just how I felt. And I felt like if I was going to do it, this was 100% the way I wanted to do it. And I wanted people to be like, how the hell did you just do that in 4 days? So that was.
I'm going to cut you off, Em, but we will hear more from you when we do the training. But it's 10 after 9, and I want to make sure I get to the Facebook thing. I don't want to keep everybody too long, but you did so awesome. And so anybody who wants to do the run to the 30-day run to executive, all 4 of the girls that just hit it are going to be like literally step by step, give their verbiage that they used, tactics that they used. We did a lot of mindset work. We did a lot of visualization work every day and worked on the belief of getting it there, because it's really all about belief, and it's all about getting uncomfortable. Like Emily, like you said, it was hard. Some people can say it's hard. Some people can say it's uncomfortable, and that's how you grow. And being okay with, you know, like Natalie said, she asked all her family and one cousin got back to her. It's hard to hear, to be rejected, but at the end of it, that's what it takes to kind of, it's like there was a breakthrough, right? And I'll just say this, I say it all the time, the results are in the work you're avoiding. I just want you guys to think about that. The results are in the things that you're just not doing. They're in that extra 10 new connections you could make every day. They're in the follow-ups that you forget about. They're in those scary people that you know you should ask, but you're afraid. The calls, asking your customer for referrals, asking your customer for the 5th time, are you sure you don't want to hear about sharing? It's the work that you're avoiding. That's where the result is. Every single time. It's not in the stuff you do every single day, because you would have a result by now. So just remember, look at, and we often, our brains want us to be comfortable. If you guys have had the training with David Woods, we want to be comfortable. So it has to be very forced to get out of our comfort zone. Okay? And it doesn't mean, like I hear a lot of times people say, well, things should be with ease and they should flow. And that's good in some circumstances. But in order to grow in this regard, you do need to get uncomfortable. And a lot of times that's exactly where you'll find those results, in the work you're avoiding. So maybe tonight, just take a real hard look at your calendar, at how you schedule your day, your habits. There's something that you can even just tweak a little bit. It could be a habit of waking up 30 minutes earlier every morning just to do the priming with Tony Robbins and get your mindset straight. Just that habit alone could be life-changing. The priming, I know all of us that are in the KK training, we've been doing that. It is amazing. Life-changing. Priming, what it does, that means it primes you for your day, gets you ready for your day. That could be just one habit that changes your life. A habit of never, ever ending the day without at least 5 new connections. Can you imagine that? Sometimes people go like, oh, I don't know, I haven't really enrolled anybody. Well, how many people did you connect with? How many people have you talked to about Isagenix? Let me see your list. And usually it's not many or none. So just think about that. There's work that you're avoiding. So now quickly, I will go through, it's 9:12. I'm going to take about 10 minutes and show you guys where, we'll post the priming in our business page, guys, because I know some of you don't have it. Actually, Paula, if you want to do that, I know you have the video that you sent us. That's awesome. So first, just to give you guys, and if you can just maybe take notes or screenshots, but if you guys go to Live to Be Free business coaching page, obviously this is our business page. What I want to show you guys is on your phone, it might be somewhere else, but on a computer, it's over here to the left. But on your phone, I think it's on the top underneath the heading for most phones. There's a tab called Announcements. This is a really important tab for you guys to know. Every time that you're like, there's something important with the business, where can I find it? Go to Announcements. Okay, so the first one is really the steps for new people getting started, which has the website. And it has all of the steps, the 5 simple steps to get started so people know how to organize their business. It has the videos that we like to use the most here. This is all in that first pinned post. Every month, I update this post, guys. Now, obviously, it's July, so it's the July calendar. Every time, if you're like, I don't know where to find the Zoom link, here's a great place. It's always here. Here's the meeting ID. And this also has the schedule for the entire month. So now we're in July. As you can see, we have all the Tuesday calls, and I already pre-planned what we're going to do so you guys know. And then there's also the optional calls that we have. Our Power Hour calls, the Q&A with Stephanie, and our Thursday calls has a different link. So anytime you're confused about calls, you would check this post. And this is for you guys to know for when you are showing your team. My system that I put together for how do I get a prospect to be a customer, to be an associate. I literally repeat the same steps. I change the wording because it might depend on the person, but it's really truly the same steps. And I put it all in here. So if you clicked more, you're going to have the complete system for how I have built my business and how I teach people to take a new prospect that's fresh, to get them to be a customer, to get them to be an associate. How to inspire them to do that. I shouldn't say get, to inspire them to do so. I do the same system all the time. Some people do, some people don't. But I stick to this system because the people that do it really works well and it duplicates well and it's genuine. Here is the email series that I personally use when I have somebody that's a new associate. How do I train a new associate? I'm showing you guys, you can train new associates and you can have all my emails. This is what I send them. And it really depends on, some people are like ready to go and some people it's like, okay, it's been a week. Did you watch the first video? That you're just gonna have to play with depending on the person. Remember, everybody's there has their own growth in this. Our weekly Power Hour calls pinned here. This was started several months ago with Flo and 12 to 1, and we have them right here. And this is just an accountability. This is literally like, if you're home at 12 o'clock and you want to say, you know what, I need to really get 1 solid hour that I have no distractions and I'm just working on Isogenics, you can join us for that. Or choose your own hour in the day. Just keep yourself accountable. This is just a good live I did about your energy. Then this is sample scripts. So, oops. Okay, well, that's going to expand. I forgot how big this was. This post is really, really, really a long one because I have so many script ideas. So how many of you on this call right now sometimes think, I just don't know what to write back, or I don't know how to start the conversation? I give scripts based on so many different things. So these are so many different ideas of how you can do new connections. I go all the way down here, sharing the opportunity when we have new shakes and products, follow-ups, asking for referrals. I mean, there's so many. So if you guys didn't know about this, that's another post. So this is the Live to Be Free business page. There's also more announcements in there, but anything that's important will be in the announcement section. Every month I'll change those calls and I'll just unpin the last month and I'll pin the new month. Then for files, the files section is going to have some of our documents. I have my welcome email that I send to a new customer, so you guys can tweak that if you need an email format to send. There's the new client checklist. People that have shared things that worked for them before, that's in here too. So there's some really great things in here that you guys can go through. The guides are also in here that we use in our other pages too and for our customers. So now if you go to Live to Be Free. This is our coaching page for our customers. So just a couple things I want to tell you guys. If you want to add a person that's just interested, please feel free to add them. They do not need to be a member to be in this page. They can just be a prospect. They can just be interested. They will get a lot of great information from being in this page. And I have found that people will be in here and they'll sit for a few weeks. Don't forget to follow up with them, of course, but they're seeing people post, they're seeing transformations. We want to keep this page really lively. So if you have somebody in here, you want to be posting and commenting a lot so that they can see all the good things. Because if you're their friend and they're not friends with me or Debbie or Brooke or Natalie or Paula or people that post a lot, they're not going to really see the notifications. So if you see a post that maybe Brooke went live and you're like, wow, that's really great, comment on it, tag some people. Okay, utilize that group. Now, so to invite people, you do just add their name here, but you do need them to accept. So just send them the URL. I always send the URL. I say, here's the URL to the group. Click here, tell me when you're in. Now, here's the really cool thing, guys. I really want you guys to know how easy this is. You have a brand new person. If you go again to announcements, this is so type A organized for you. Step one, new customer. So you have somebody, they don't even know anything about Isagenix, and they say, hey, Christine, like, what's that stuff you're using? Can you tell me more? And you're like, oh my God, what do I say? What do I send? I don't know. You don't have to worry. Add them to the group. Say, I'm going to add you to my coaching. Say my coaching. Don't say, I'm going to add you to Gina's coaching group. No, this is everybody on our team. You guys say my when you talk to people. Hey, my coaching group, it's awesome. I'm going to add you to it so you can take a peek around because you want to take ownership that you're part of this team. You're a leader. So this is new customer. I hashtag step one. This is about learning more. So this is the 14-minute video I do on product. So these are for people on the product. You want them to read this and watch this. So then you would tag them underneath here. And somebody asked me how to tag today, so I'm not going to assume that everybody knows, but you start typing the name as long as they're in the group, boom, okay? So tag them on here, they will get the information, and then of course you want to follow up. Now step two is, that was on there because Janet asked me to pin that one, but step two is the pack. So choose your first pack. Okay, now the 11-day shred is great once in a while because it does, but I really love to be able to start with a full 30-day because I feel like they don't have a lot of products and it's not a lot of lifestyle with just the smaller things. But of course, if you need to start some with 11-day, it's fine. But this is focused on the 30-day packs. And it also talks about how they can earn a rebate by bringing 2 people. So if you're still nervous about saying that, all you do is comment and say, hey, tag them. These are our pack options. Plus, here's info about earning a rebate when you join with 2 accountability partners. Just don't overthink it. Don't think you're saying anything weird. It's just part of this. That's the promo, right? Now, step 3 is preparing. So now this is when they have enrolled, guys. This is everything they need. And I make sure, I say to them, and because people will love to skip over and ask you a million questions, I say, please make sure you eat everything. I text them. I just tagged you on something so important to prep you. Please make sure you read each part and watch that video. So this is going to show you, download the ISA, anything. You won't have to feel like you forgot. It's the checklist is right here for them and you. Join the ISA Body Challenge, visit our website, and this is what they're going to find in the website. All these things. And then there's also the start here. This is an Isagenix link that helps them get started as well. And then here's the 30-day. I go through the 30-day system, what they get in their box. Okay, so this is for them to prep. Now you can, as long as you're invested in your time, you can still do an open the box call over the phone. Absolutely. But now this is going to save you time because they're going to say, yeah, I saw the video. And you're going to say, okay, any last questions? Are you set? And then that's how you can do it. Save you time. Step 4, guys, setting up month 2. I personally suggest, and I do this, is to get on a Zoom with them because I really want to see how they're doing and I really want to make this connection and this good, relationship with them. And I also want to share the opportunity. So I like to do a Zoom, but just in case you're not doing the Zooms or people in your downline are not doing the Zooms, we need people to understand how this works, how the auto ship works, how to edit it, and also how they can utilize Lifestyle Rewards. Okay, so that's in there for people who are not doing the 3-week call. The next thing, sorry, these pop-ups. Then the next thing is the last step for 5 is getting your Isagenix products for free. That's step 5. Okay. Here's all the information just for 2 people, all here. Now, everything else that's in the announcements is going to be the information. That's why I have the pinned new shape things above, because that was something that's coming out. I'm going to try to, because I'm so anal, I want it to be like perfectly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the more info. So I have to redo that. But I hashtag more info. So this is going to be about our shake, ingredients, about cleansing, about the AMPS line, nursing moms, and the telomere support will all be under hashtag more info. So that's how you guys can utilize the Facebook pages. Knowing the announcements is the most crucial part, knowing that you can add people and just start tagging them, but don't tag and forget about them. Just say, hey, step 1, message me or call me back when you are through with this. I just really did this so you guys have a way to organize yourself of what you're doing with them, but this is not a drop your person in and tag them on stuff and forget about them. It's just to help you organize that. Does that make sense? Okay, the next thing I just want to show you in here is that if you go to photos, the album section is really key. So I personally, along with that pinned post about the video and learning about Isagenix, I personally love to tag on the transformation album. So this is where it's found. This is why I want to show this, because some people don't know how to find this. So you go to photos, albums, and then transformations is in here, which is a great one for a brand new prospect. And then Eileen, you're all over Facebook right now. I'm getting all your notifications. Are you paying attention? Just teasing you. So transformations. And then for your new people as they start, this is great because they have a recipe album that you could tag them on, printable resources. Here's another tip. I take some of these printable resources and if I'm coaching a group, an 11-day group in a group thread, I could take some of these and just send it one day. Like, hey, day 2, don't forget your snacks. Here's some ideas. Or when I do the Hit 'em Up app, sometimes I take ideas from here, important product info and printable resources, and I send that to them. Like, just checking in on you. By the way, this recipe is great. So here's some ideas that you guys can use this as tools to help you touch base with your customers. So I wanted to make sure you guys see that all this is here for you. And then we have workouts here written out. Flo did a lot of these. Rod did a lot of these. So if you have somebody that says, I don't know how to start working out, or I want some workouts too, you can also tag them, or you can just say, hey, I just want to let you know we have some trainers that put these workouts together. These are a great resource as well. So these are all things that are available to you guys, and I just wanted to make sure that you and your team, so you got to make sure that you show your teams this so that they can start using these tools too. So it's all there for them, makes it super easy, okay? So does anybody have any questions about anything at all? How we use our pages, finding place things, anything like that?
Hey, Gina, I have a question. So on those albums, can you tag someone for an entire album, or do you have to go in there and
no, the entire album? So like for the transformations, that whole album, you could just comment on the entire album and they'll see all the album. So they'll see all the pictures.
Cool, thanks.
And that's a really good one for prospects because there's so many different bodies, like men, women, young, older. Some are 11 days, some are 30 days, some are 16 weeks, some are a year. So it's so good for them to see. And most of them are from our team or people that I took from IsaBody Challenge that I know. So that's a really good album. Any other questions about the groups or finding things or how to utilize that? Okay, is that helpful now to see that? And then just make sure that you guys know that that's how you can, because I mean, I've been talking to so many new people and they just are like, well, what do I say? What do I send? And this is why this is going to be so helpful because it's like step one. And like I said, I don't want you to just drop people in a page and tag them and forget about them. Please don't do that because that's actually really not a good way to do it. But use it as your guide, but still be involved. Tag them, message them, talk with them. But that's going to help you know, did I do that? Did I make sure they knew about this? Did I go to this step? And then also, if you say, you know what, I really need to send my customers something inspirational, you can go in those albums and take what you want. You can share transformation. That's a great resource. You don't have to sit there and search and like, oh, what can I post today? Or what can I send my clients today? Utilize that. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that. Yes, I just saw something about the calls. So yeah, in our website, if you guys are new and have not registered to be a member of our website, so it's live2breakfree.com. I'll write it in here. If you have not gone on here, if you're new, I'm sure if you're not new, you've been on here. So this website, actually, you can do a team login. And when you log into the back, there'll be a place that says watch past calls. You click there and it's going to be in order from the most recent down. So you might want to go all the way down and say, oh my gosh, I didn't know that Gina interviewed Zach Slobin. I never saw that one. I want to watch that one. Or, oh my gosh, I remember that call with Lindsay Wynee. It was so good. I want my new people to see that. I'm going to go in there and get that call. Or Jessica Rigner did amazing calls for us. Like whatever it is, you guys have that library. You have access to it in the back of the website. So that's just another good tip. And the website actually goes through how to coach people on the business, the back end of the website. So that's also there. The tools are all there. All the videos are there. So just take some time. Once you know where things are, you'll get a flow to it. You'll be like, boom, boom, boom. That's where I go. And again, if you want really to just memorize my system, go to that announcements on the business page, prospect to customer to associate. I literally like wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. I rarely say anything different unless it's like an 11-day shred or promoting something different. But I'm like a big 30-day or at least a 30-day basic or above because I really want people to get the lifestyle. Of course, we work with budget, but I really usually just kind of go with that. So any other questions? And again, we're going to start Monday with our Race to Executive. And this is going to be for people who are ready to just dive in, like just to do the work. It's nothing different. It's just that you're going to be doing the work. You're going to say, okay, we're like today you're going to reach out to this many people and you're going to step into boldness and you are going to ask this and we're going to give you that. And you're just going to be like on this crazy high. If you're ready for that kind of energy for 30 days, join it. If you're not, don't worry about it. Just do another time. You know, timing is everything. But if you really want to kind of have just that, like, I forget who it was, Brooke, who said just being part of that actually got her back into action because she was starting to doubt herself, but then she was part of that. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Thank you so much, Emily and Natalie and Flo and Brooke for sharing tonight, and congratulations again. If you did not see my video I did yesterday about executive, I really just went over why. It's not really just to prove something to yourself or a title, but it really truly opens up a big part of the compensation plan. And the goal is to be paid as executive. And I go through the benefits and what income is available to you as an executive that's not available to you if you're not. So if you missed that video, check that out. But if you really need to create a residual income and you really, like you're doing this for income, you need to get involved and just say, enough is enough. I'm freaking doing it. 30 days, let's go. Uterus to the wall. Right, KK ladies? In KK group, she says that. Uterus to the wall. I love you guys. Have a great night. I'm so glad to see so many of you tonight. And thank you so much for sticking on here